Hi. So, I'm imagining no one noticed, but I've been gone for a rather long time. I haven't made a video since like June or something. I don't know. I don't check my old videos. Well, that is because I have done some pretty big things. I escaped the hellhole that is Melbourne, Australia, and I have now escaped to the countryside of Europe. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I achieved that. There's a bird. I don't know if you can see it or hear. I mean, you can hear the rushing waterfall. Yeah, so I'm going to talk a bit about how I did that process and how I escaped, I guess. Okay, bye. So, how have I come into this situation? Okay, so I have known I was going to go to Norway since I was about 10 years old, probably less. I am half Norwegian, and it has always been a goal of mine to learn the Norwegian language. My father had a cousin who, when she was 16, she moved to Norway for the program that I am about to explain and never left. And so since the age of 10, I've been planning this. And as I got older, it became a plan for a permanent move. Because of my father, have a Norwegian citizenship. And so as the time got closer, we began to, now in my 19th year after I have graduated from high school, from Australian high school, I am finally put in the steps to actually escape. Laying in bed, like an inanimate object. Because I've thought about this a lot in the months, it's now been 4 months since he passed away. The way I think of it is kind of, after he died, I was sort of reduced to the bare definition of a person. I ate, I slept, I went on my social media, because what else is a girl to do when they are suddenly left without pretty much the closest person in their life. Yeah, so he died on the 10th of July. And that week, this was before the severe lockdowns hit, but during that week, the next 3 weeks, I was surviving on charity from my friends who, I'm so glad for it now, but they drop off food and it felt, I don't know, I'll probably talk about this some other time. Anyway, we're back to the subject. Anyway, it kind of ruined me, like in every way. And so suddenly the desire was to get to Norway as soon as possible. It didn't matter how I got there. I mean, I wanted it to be as cheap as possible because I'm a cheapskate. But I had to run away. I had to start my life again. Suddenly, this wasn't just a new step. This was the beginning of something new. This was the beginning of a complete me that I still don't really understand to this day. I got on a ticket for the 5th of August. His funeral was a few days before. And so on the 5th of August, I had my bags all packed. And at that point, the lockdown had really started to pick up. I should also add that Melbourne currently has probably the strictest lockdown in the entire world. Like, stronger than Wuhan, stronger than New Zealand. We have been on lockdown since March. Anyway, I was unable to go with my family to the airport. So my dad we got an exemption from the Australian government for me to leave on a Qatar airline, which is the only airline that was doing anything with Norwegians. And so I got my exemption. I got a ticket for the 5th of August, which I think was a Wednesday? I don't know. Who knows? And I arrived I think it was Tuesday. I arrived in Norway. I arrived at Gardermoen Airport on the 7th of August. And I wore that bloody face mask and that face shield. I had a stopover at Doha Airport. And then I was in quarantine with my aunt and uncle for 10 days. So just under 2 weeks. Just under 2 weeks. Then, okay, here is where I talk about the thing that I'm studying. It is basically a mix between a college and a boarding school. Basically, I have a major that won't lead to any degree. It's called a folkehøyskole, or a people's high school, and it is a Scandinavian thing. I think it was actually created first in Denmark, but there are over 173 different schools spread throughout Norway, and then there are I'm wrong. 173, I think, in Denmark. I don't know. I don't know what the numbers are. But yeah, so I chose. You go and you study for a year without exams, and you live in the place. I currently live in a dorm, and it's basically a gap year college program, if that makes sense, for people who don't really know what they want to do with their life yet. So yeah, I came here first. I came to Orkdal. I'd been staying with my aunt and uncle in near Horten, and then I came up to Orkdal, which is the region where my grandfather was born and grew up, and I now live across the river from my family farm. And anyway, so I was studying Icelandic horses, dog sledding, and friluftsliv, which is basically outdoor education. I kind of overestimated how active of a person I am. I'm not. It was rather... I think I was there about 2 months. I was in that line for about 2 months, just under. And my favourite part was the horses, because it was Icelandic horses, and I thought that I was going to be specialising, but I wasn't. But that's okay. That's just me not... Once again, I guess, after my friend's death, I kind of, I thought it would be good to get away, but I found that actually, when I was out in the woods, I was lost in my thoughts. And my thoughts haven't been in a very good place lately. And so I asked to switch to the horse line. And so now that's what I'm doing. And I've been doing that for the past 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks. And that's been really fun. And so, yeah. One thing that kind of feels a bit weird is that my friend who died, he has no idea what I'm doing, because my plans were different. when I talk to him. And I can't tell him, I can't update. Anyway, yeah. Now I'll give you a bit of footage of the scenery because it is October and it has already begun to snow. It snowed yesterday and settled on the roofs. And that was really nice. By the way, I'm wearing a skirt. Check out this bruise, by the way. I fell off my bike. Anyway, yeah, that is what I've been doing. And I hope you will appreciate some pictures or some footage of the scenery. Ta-da!
Now you can enjoy that blockbuster you picked out from the 4,000 plus entertainment options.
De snakket ikke engelsk.